and then we'll go back to sharing. Okay. My name is Kathleen Tehrany, and I am the solutions consultant for TobiiDynavox. I have been with the company 3 years as of June 1st, and I cover all of Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, from Boston north and west through central Massachusetts. My background is as a speech language pathologist. So I worked with peds for a number of years. I worked in the school system and outpatient clinics as well. So what I'm going to do today is to show you Snap Core First. This is a software that came out about 3 years ago, and we have constantly added things to it and made it more user-friendly. Oops, let me actually. So Snap Core First is a software that combines the Core First word strategy that promotes literacy development for communication of all ages and abilities. It was designed for quick, easy use. It's an easy setup, and the editing is really intuitive. So if you guys could mute, that would be great. So, you know, with Snap and Core First, the idea is that we want our users to be engaged as they grow and evolve on their communication journey. Oops, let me stop the captioning. With Snap and Core, our software is really focused on three pillars. So we have the engagement, we have literacy and growth, and we'll talk about all of those as we go along. So the first one that I want to talk about is growth. So with Snap and Core First, you can have growth 2 ways. So one is size-based, and the other one is location-based. Right now, I have my Snap and Core set up as a 5x5 grid, but you can see that if I go to my edit and my page set and my grid size, I can actually start with a grid size of 1. I can move to a 1x2, a 2x2, and I can grow my grid all the way to an 8x10. Anything that is under a 3x3 is supported navigation. So what I mean by that is that if I have a student who is using a 4x4 board, sorry, a 3x3, I am going to support them as they navigate through the communication device. So I will navigate them to where they go. So for example, this is a 2x2 board, and here you can see that the core word board is 2 by 2, and I actually have a scroll down here because I put swiping and navigation on my board since I don't have a scroll, or since I can't swipe. Sorry. So if I want to get my user back to the home page, I go to home. Here I have some topics that are empty. So, you know, perhaps I have a topic on activities or food or feelings or social. So the grid sizes that are under 3 by 3 don't have the topics already set. So you'll see with the core words here, I have want, not, and like. As I grow my grid, you can see that I add to it. So I have want, not, like, and more. As I continue to grow my grid, you'll see that the words will stay in the same position relative to one another. So by the time I get up to a 5 by 5 board, you can still see that want, not, like, and more here, and we are building around that. One of the reasons that we have kept everything, relative to one another as we grow out the grid is that we don't want your user to have to redo the mode of planning for those words. So the other way to grow a grid is you can start with a larger size grid, and you can hide or mask some of the icons in it. So for example, if I have a user who's on a 5 by 5 grid, but I don't want to expose him or her to this much language all at once, I can go into my edit, I can hit my multi-select, and then I can go in here and I can hide a bunch of words that maybe they're not ready to use yet. So now if I just go over to my hide, you can see that my grid size is still the same, but I have hidden, some of the words. And so, as my user develops his or her language, we can slowly unmask or unhide words. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back in here. So this is nice. I can multi-select here, and then I can just hit my eye and I can show these here. So they're back in here. So that's how you can grow a grid. So I'm going to talk about the core words and literacy, and then we'll talk about the Quickfires and topics. So this page here, well, let me start out here. So this is your navigation bar. The nice thing about this is that it stays on your left-hand side, and it doesn't move unless you wanted to switch it all the way to your right. So I always have access to my back button. I have access to my core words or home page, my Quickfires and topics. So core words are those words that comprise of 80% of what we say, read, and write. So this is a great way for students to combine words for academics, any type of conversations that they have. You have your all word list here, and this is your categories of words. So for example, here you have food and drink. You have some subcategories here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then they have some of those high frequency words here. This software is very customizable. So let's say if I wanted to edit something in here, I could go in. Perhaps I am a big fan of coffee, so maybe I would swap out maybe milk because I don't drink milk. I could change my milk label to coffee. Oops, the 2 F's in coffee. And then I click on my image, and this is where I can pull in a cup of coffee. And here we have a lot of different options for that. If I wanted to, I could also click on my camera, and take a picture of a coffee as well. The other way that I can edit too is if I have an image down here, let's say I eat a lot of eggs, I might move eggs up to the top and swap it out with peas. So it's pretty simple to edit. So you'll see that if I'm on my core words page and I combine words, so if I say I want a coffee, you will see the words appear up here. I can change these words so that I have words and images as well. So I could go to my preferences, and for students who need to use symbols, we can add that as well. Right now we have the board maker symbols, but you can also download the high contrast board maker symbols, as well as the sign language symbols. So I'm going to clear here, and then you also have your word form. So if I click on the word forms after my word, it'll give me a past tense. So then we come to our quickfires and our topics. So the quickfires and the topics, these are those high frequency reusable words. The quickfires aren't as context dependent as the topics are. So you can see, you could say things like, Dad, come here, Mom, yes, no, good and bad. We have a greetings and social. So a lot of things that individuals will say, but we also want you to look at this as sort of a template, in the sense that we want it to be customizable to your student, to the language of their peers, to the language of their families as well. So feel free to go in here and customize it. So you might have later here, but you could also say, bye, it was nice to see you, or I will see you later. I know that a lot of parents will put night night in here as well. So those are quick fires. You also have personal needs, and this is a great way for individuals to get their needs quickly met. So I have to use the bathroom, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm hurt. For some, and you can put in any type of medical need as well. So for some we have, I need to be repositioned. For individuals who have sensory needs, you could put in here, I'm too hot, it's too loud, it's too dark, things like that. There's one on feelings and questions and phrases as well. Under that, we have our topics. There are 86 topics right now. I would recommend going through and sort of customizing it to your student and what is relevant for them now. So we have topics from bubbles and Play-Dohs, all the way to dating and sexuality, work, job coach. So just a wide variety of words in here, of topics. We also have some blank topics as well. So this is a great way too to put in topics of your choosing. I have had families who will take a topic and they'll put in weekend plans, so that their child can share weekend plans with their classmates. If the school is going on a field trip, or well, hopefully field trips in the future, then you could put a topic on going to the zoo, going to the museum, going to the beach. I've had some teachers who will also put some in for academics as well. With our topics, you'll see that the topics are quick words and phrases that are context bound. So for bubbles, you'll have questions like, where are the bubbles? Get the bubbles. It landed on me. I popped it. What's great about these is that it gives the student access to a variety of pragmatic language. So questions, making comments, directing the actions of another, making positive comments, making negative comments. And again, you can add into here as well. So what this creates is that really nice engagement and that back and forth with peers, because sometimes peers won't always wait for students who use AAC devices to combine words. So this is just a nice way for them to keep engaged. Within here, we also have some topic words. So just some simple words around a topic, and then we also have some more bubble specific words. If I go back, you have supports as well. And this is a great section. I have a lot of OTs and parents and teachers who love this section. So these are our behavior supports. We have a timer. So you can set a time for an activity. So we might say, okay, we have 3 minutes to play bubbles. And after that, we're going to move on to the next activity. So it's a nice way for the students to visually see how much time they have left. We also have a first, then board. We have a first, next, then, and last. I have seen this being used as a visual schedule for students. I have had parents who use it to show if a routine is going to be changed. So to help preview a change in a schedule for a child who might have difficulty with change. I've seen this used by OTs for activities of daily living. So putting on shoes, taking a bath, washing hands, bedtime routines, things like that. And then we also have some social scripts around bubbles, and we have a story around bubbles as well. And any of these you can go in and edit. So if I wanted to edit one of these, I click on my cog, I go to my schedule. If I scroll down, I see what my action is, and I click on it, and then I can go in here and edit. So for every activity we have, there are supports, which is really nice. So I'm going to talk for about 2 more minutes, and then I will take any questions you have. We have a keyboard in here to help promote literacy. I set mine up so that I have the full QWERTY keyboard, but we have several different types of keyboards that are available as well. And you can see that we have some word prediction at the top. We also have a numbers page, so if a student is doing math, so they can do math, 1 + 2 = 3. And then we have a dashboard. So the dashboard is where a student can control their volume up and down. They can also control it from the device as well. There are some other features in the dashboard, which is nice too. we have a lot of students who now have Alexa and Siri and Google, so you can always add some pages. We have some fun stuff that's in here as well. And we also have the ability to launch Student Center. So for school districts that have Boardmaker Online, the teachers can send or share activities with the student, and they can access them directly through their software. Okay. So before I forget, I added to the Google Doc some information about how you can download a free trial of Snap Core First. We also have a lot of webinars that go through how to use it, customize it. We have a free Pathways app, which is full of lesson plans and helps you create a systematic approach to teaching AAC. Okay, so sorry, that was a quick 20-minute talk. Are there any questions that I can answer? Has anyone used Snap and Core? Okay, well,
I actually,
oh, go ahead.
Yes, I was going to say I have a student that uses Snap Core First, and last week just got approved for his own device, his personal device at home, and he is a fluent user and just took off with it, and it's been amazing for him.
Oh, great. That's so excited. I'm so happy for him.
Yes, thank you. This was amazing to see an overview. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I've seen a lot of software, and I do feel like this is so intuitive, so easy to start, and there are so many different ways too that you can customize it for your user. And with Snap and Core, we now have page sets for scanning that are more appropriate for a scanner, where you can do group scanning. And you can also and you can also use it for somebody who has an eye gaze device, someone who's using switches, someone who has a head mouse. So it's used with a variety of individuals. And if you have older students, you can take out all the pictures and just use text if you have students who don't need symbols. Are there any other questions or comments? Oh, how do I access a scanner? So you would, so I'll show you here. So if I go into my my cog, I have my user access method, and here I have touch. So I can switch between touch enter, touch exit, and mouse dwell, gaze interaction, and scanning. So once I click on scanning, I can go ahead and change my different types of scanning here, and the speeds and stuff like that. The other way that I can access a scanning a page set is I can actually change out my user. So let's say I go to my user. I'm going to create a new user. I'd say getting started. And if I show more here, you'll see that we have a Core First, our bilingual English Spanish. We have one for French Canadian, but I can go to my Core First scanning here, and we'll put AT. We'll pick a voice, and you'll see that I have three different sizes that are actually, I should have four. I have four different sizes. So let's say I take the smaller one. And you'll see that I have it set up for scanning. And what I can do too is if I go into a page and I click on this to the side, I can actually create my own scanning. So I can say which groups I want it to scan first, next, and last. So that's a really nice way of doing more customizations with a scanner. So I can hit done, and then I'm just going to go back to my other user. Oh, and then because I'm still on scanning, I can stop the scan here. But I would recommend that you guys check out our webinars. We have a lot of different webinars on scanning, on eye gaze. We have them on Boardmaker Online, which goes really well with Snap and Core, especially if you're looking for teaching the academic piece with the communication piece. And again, all of that information will be in the Google Doc. And my contact information is there as well. So if anybody will like further training or has questions about the software or devices, please feel free to reach out and contact me. I'd be more than happy to set something up either in Zoom or in person with gloves and a mask. Okay. All right, if there are no further questions, you're very welcome. Thank you guys for joining in, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your sessions today. All right, take care, everybody.